Welcome to Jackson, Wyoming, and this is the ultimate travel guide. In this video, I'll show you how to get here, how to get around, where to stay, where to eat, and what there is to do and see in this very special town. Jackson is a beautiful town nestled in the valley beneath the Teton Mountain Range. Known for its stunning landscapes, outdoor activities, and vibrant local culture, the town is a prime destination for adventurers, nature enthusiasts, and those looking to experience the quintessential American West. You can drive to Jackson, of course, and many do, but if you prefer to fly, Jackson has its own airport very close to town. You can also fly into Idaho Falls or Salt Lake City and drive from these locations. Jackson is a small town, so it's easy to get around. It's also an easy drive to Teton Village and into Grand Teton National Park. However, in the winter, the roads can be treacherous, so a four-wheel drive and a little bit of caution goes a long way. There is a public transportation service in Jackson called the START Bus, and there's an airport shuttle from Jackson Hole Airport. If you prefer taxis or Ubers, well, yep, they're here too. All right, parking. Look, parking can be a real hassle in the summer, if I'm completely honest. You can park on the streets near the town square in the summer, but these parking spaces are hard to get. There is a public parking area near the visitor center, and this lot also has designated RV parking. But once again, this parking lot fills up quickly, so get here very early in the morning if you want to guarantee yourself a parking place. The story is similar at Teton Village. There is a fair bit of parking there, but it does fill up quickly in the summer. Jackson may have once been a sleepy little western town, but sleepy it is no more. And as a result, there's a wide range of accommodation in and around the town. You will find some fairly basic, yet still rather expensive lodging, all the way up to the very fancy and therefore very expensive hotels. Now, we have stayed at the Fireside Resort a couple of times just outside of town, and that was a great experience. We have also used Rendezvous Mountain Rentals many times, and they've hooked us up with several different condos over the years. These short-term rentals are really wonderful as you get more space and usually a full kitchen. Yes, there are certainly many places to eat in the Jackson area, from fast food to old diners, grills, and the very high-end preferred by only the local billionaires. Yep, Jackson Hole has it all. Also, keep in mind that if you're here in the peak of summer, you will have to wait for a table. It is so busy in July and August. And we do have some favorites, and they include the Bunnery, Mary Piglet's, Persephone's, and Nora's in Wilson. And if you want something pretty unique, fun, and some incredible views, try Dornan's, which is just outside of town. Dining options are located in the town, of course, the Aspens area on the way to Teton Village, and in Teton Village. If you're visiting Jackson Hole, you'll be pleased to know there are many things to do during your time in the area. Here are the town's main attractions. A good place to begin our tour of Jackson, and perhaps the most logical, is in its beating heart, the Jackson Town Square. The town square has evolved from a dusty frontier gathering spot into a vibrant town center. Today, it's famous for its 4 striking elk antler arches, which were built back in the 1950s, originally using naturally shed antlers collected by the local Boy Scouts from the nearby National Elk Refuge. The square is framed by rustic boardwalks, which were first used here back in the 1920s and officially retained in 1932 to honor the town's roots. Another feature of the town square in the summer months is the nightly shootout. The shootouts start at 6 p.m., but of course, it's recommended that you get there early to secure a parking place and naturally a good spot to watch all of the action. And if you'd like a stagecoach ride around the town square, well, you can do that here too. The town also features Western-themed shops, tourist stores, and art galleries. you'll find pretty quickly that there are indeed a large number of tourist-related shops, and honestly, the quality is actually fairly decent. Just off the edge of the town square is a unique and quirky little area called Gaslight Alley, which is, I think, well worth having a look at. As for the art galleries, well, there are quite a few, many of which have some unique and beautiful pieces. One of the galleries is by the photographer Thomas Mangelson, who is well known for photographing Bear 399. One of the most, if not the most, recognized buildings in the town square is the $1 Million Cowboy Bar. The Cowboy Bar was founded in 1939 and secured the region's first liquor license after Prohibition. In the 1940s, noble pine and inlaid silver dollars were added to craft the famous Saddle Stool Bar. In 1953, a gas explosion nearly destroyed the basement and dance floor, but it was rebuilt and insured for $1 million, which inspired its current name. Over the years, it's hosted legendary performers from Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson to Hank Williams Jr. Another site worth seeing close to the town square is the Wart Hotel. The hotel opened in 1941 as Jackson's first luxury hotel and was built by brothers John and Jess Wart, who sold their hunting lodge to fund it. The famous Silver Dollar Bar was added in 1950 and is a fantastic place for a drink or a meal. Snow King, affectionately known as the Town Hill, was first used for skiing in the 1920s when locals hiked up and then skied down. Today, Snow King has 500 skiable acres and night skiing. And in the summer, the activities are endless and include an alpine coaster, an alpine slide, a zip line, ropes course, mountain biking, mini golf, and a maze. Now, one of the highlights, of course, is the gondola ride all the way to the top, where you'll find hiking trails, summer concerts, a planetarium of all things, and you know what, probably the best views of Jackson and the Teton Mountain Range. The Jackson Hole Rodeo has been around since the 1890s and now runs twice a week in the summer. Local and regional cowboys compete in all of the traditional rodeo events. The arena is near downtown and very easy to reach. It's also fairly affordable. From my experience, it's also busy, so you're best to book your tickets in advance. Oh, and it's also fun. The National Museum of Wildlife Art is honestly rather incredible. The museum is built into a hillside and overlooks the National Elk Refuge. Inside, there are over 5,000 works of wildlife-focused art, and outside, the art continues with a trail lined with animal art. The architecture of the building was inspired by Slains Castle in Scotland, and the design helps the museum blend into the landscape. The 24,000-acre National Elk Refuge sits just east of Jackson. The Elk Refuge was founded in 1912 and shelters up to 7,500 elk every winter that migrate from surrounding mountains. You can drive along the refuge road and view herds directly from your car. In winter, you can catch horse-drawn sleigh tours directly into the herds. The Visitor Center offers interpretive exhibits, binoculars, and local guides who explain elk behavior and conservation efforts. Teton Village is about 12 miles from downtown Jackson and a fantastic place to visit any time of year. Teton Village surrounds Jackson Hole Mountain Resort and has plenty of lodging, restaurants, and shopping. In the winter, the area is one of the best ski resorts in the country, and in the summer, well, Teton Village has hiking, biking, climbing, a bungee trampoline, the Grand Teton Music Festival, and of course, scenic tram rides. Now, you can either catch the Bridger or Sweetwater gondolas, or, of course, the famous tram. The Jackson Hole aerial tram, often called Big Red, travels from Teton Village up to the 10,450-foot summit. Now, as you would expect, the views from the top are incredible, as you can see the Teton Mountain Range and the entire Jackson Hole Valley. At the top, you can hike, climb, do yoga, paraglide, which I will never do, or even grab a waffle at Corbett's Cabin, which I will do. Another one of the parks in the Jackson area that's actually quite unique is Rendezvous Park, or simply R Park, which is located alongside the Snake River in Wilson. It has trails, picnic spots, a pond, and some very interesting outdoor art. Other local sites include the Jackson Hole Historical Society and Museum, which is located near the town square, Astoria Hot Springs, which is in the Hoback area just outside of Jackson, Teton Raptor Park in Wilson, and the Jackson Hole Playhouse. One of the beautiful things about Jackson Hole is its proximity to Grand Teton National Park, and this honestly is for many the real reason for visiting the town. Right, Einstein? Grand Teton National Park is centered around the majestic Teton Mountain Range, which is its most prominent feature. However, the park's appeal extends far beyond these iconic peaks. It encompasses serene lakes, the winding Snake River, rugged alpine and prairie landscapes, and of course, an abundance of wildlife. Here are the main attractions in this very special place. If you're new to the park, I highly recommend you stop in at one of the wonderful information centers. The staff are very helpful and can give you updates on weather, wildlife, hiking trails, and camping. Jenny Lake is a very popular destination for boating, hiking, and also has stunning views of the Teton Range. The Jenny Lake Loop Trail offers gorgeous scenery, and the shuttle boat provides easy access to the beautiful Hidden Falls at Inspiration Point. Close to Jenny Lake are some other beautiful lakes, and they include Taggart, Bradley, String, and Lee Lakes. Schwabacher's Landing is one of the classic photo and viewing locations in the park. The area offers multiple spots to witness the breathtaking reflections of the Teton Mountains on the Snake River. Access is easy off of the Grand Teton Loop Road, although the last several hundred yards is gravel and has a few large potholes, so travel carefully. But really, what a magical view. Mormon Row is an historic area featuring well-preserved homesteads and barns from the early 1900s. The iconic molten barns are set against the backdrop of the Tetons and are particularly famous amongst photographers and history buffs. The two barns just happen to be the most photographed barns in the world also, and those are the T.A. Moulton Barn and the John Moulton Barn. A scenic drive leads to the summit of Signal Mountain. Once you're there, there's a small parking lot and a short walk to a viewing area. And it's here when you will be hit with the most incredible views of the Teton Range, Jackson Hole Valley, and nearby lakes. Oxbow Bend is a picturesque bend in the Snake River with the Teton Range and Mount Moran as its backdrop. It's a prime location for wildlife viewing, especially at dawn and dusk when the animals are most active. Another incredible view can be had at the Snake River Overlook, a location made famous by the legendary photographer Ansel Adams. This location is easy to get to and is directly off of the Grand Teton Loop and has plenty of parking. Jackson Lake is by far the largest lake in the park and is great for boating, fishing, and other water-based activities. Like the other lakes in the park, Jackson Lake has stunning views of the Teton Mountain Range. The Chapel of the Transfiguration is yet another one of the out-of-this-world incredible locations. This gorgeous little church with the view that only God could grant is about 100 years old and sits beneath the towering Tetons. Another beautiful church that doesn't get nearly as much attention is the Chapel of the Sacred Heart. The views aren't nearly as good, but the interior is absolutely stunning. The Jackson Lake Lodge is yet another site in the park worth visiting. The views from the lodge of the Tetons with Mount Moran front and center, well, it's quite something. There are also restaurants and small stores at the lodge. Hiking is awesome in Grand Teton with many trails ranging from the easy to the extreme. There are over 250 miles of trails to choose from. It's advised that you check in with a ranger station for up-to-date conditions. The lakes and the Snake River offer world-class boating, rafting, and fishing. And one of the highlights of any visit is seeing wildlife, and well, you probably will. The park has an abundance of bison, moose, elk, pronghorn, fox, black and grizzly bears, and many bird species. Of course, and needless to say, follow the wildlife rules imposed by the National Park Service. So there you go, Jackson, Wyoming.